This acknowledgement is amazing. I had no idea how many people would be here. This is wonderful. Thank you so much. It's going to be hard to say thank you, but I have a few minutes, and it's probably my last opportunity to actually acknowledge a lot of people who are here in the room, who need to be acknowledged. Those were lovely things to say about my work and my career, but a lot of people in this room have given huge support to what we've accomplished. So, Kathy, oh my gosh, there's so many people here. So, actually, there's thousands and thousands of people that probably need to be thanked for the farmers market movement in Seattle. I'm not going to list all their names, and you're probably thankful for that. But I want to start with, and I'm sorry, I have a lovely, able assistant here, Joni McIntyre, who's going to ring the bell because there's actual groups of people that need to be acknowledged. So could you ring the bell once? Thank you. That would be all the city, county, and state electeds, some of whom were represented here tonight and were very gracious in their comments, and the government staff. There are a lot of people in this room who work for government, who work for the city and King County, and they have been in our corner from the beginning, and they've provided real support for our markets over the past 26 years. Can you ring that again? Oh, just once, because, okay, thank you. I'm still bossing people around. Gotta do it. In this room are amazing group of people, but there are farmland advocates, food access advocates, farmers market managers and advocates, hundreds and hundreds of people who work alongside us to make sure that farmers farm, that farmland stays viable, all citizens have access to good local food, and that farmers markets stay healthy and succeed. It's an important group of people in this room, and you need to give them some applause. And also in this room we have neighborhood activists and stakeholders. There are hundreds and hundreds of folks across the city of Seattle who understood the need and the benefits of having a farmers market in their community. They showed up at all the early stakeholder meetings to make sure that shoppers showed up on opening day, and they continue to volunteer and support our markets year after year. We couldn't do our neighborhood markets without neighborhoods that support us. You may not know, but in the room right now are some of the best writers, food writers in the country. Seattle has dozens of wonderful food writers, and from the beginning, these amazing and smart women, I'm going to have to say women, have shown their support, understand what it is we do, and have helped spread the gospel about local food and local farmers markets. So thank you to all the food writers who are here. Seattle chefs. Oh my God, Seattle has hundreds of enlightened chefs. They not only understand that local food from local farms is the best source for deliciousness, and it ends up on their menu because of that, but they actually make weekly treks to the farmers market to ensure that their menu is as local and as fresh as it can be. And then they go ahead and actually tell you about local farmers on their menu. Seattle chefs are the best. Now it's getting down here to a shorter list. Our board members, past, and I know there's several of you in the room, and present, the inaugural group of board members set wonderful groundwork for us. They set up governance and policies that are still strong today. We couldn't be the organization we are without the hard work of the people who sort of began the organization. We also have board members in the room who helped us secure our locations. I'm not kidding. When Stephen talked about that, securing our locations is a huge challenge here in Seattle. So we've got board members who worked hard on that. And then most recently, board members worked very, very hard on ensuring that we have an excellent new executive director on board. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in the future. So thank you, board members. In this room We also have friends, longtime friends, people I've known for close to 40 years, mentors, advisors, colleagues, and I think you know who you are. You've listened to me whine, and you've also helped me celebrate the successes. You've given me wisdom and perspective and love and TLC, and you've made this journey worth it. I love you all very much. So that's the equivalent of a drum roll in the farmers market world. The most important people in the room, I'm going to say, are the farmers. My gosh, there's so many farmers here. They deserve all the applause. Our mission has always been to support local family farms and ensure that they succeed and prosper. We started out, I love this story, people love this story. We started out with 17 farmers on our opening day in the U District of 93. And we currently have 120 farmers in our database now who are coming into Seattle on a regular basis and selling. We wouldn't, well, without farmers, we wouldn't have our markets, and all the hard work we do would be nothing without our farmers. So I salute you in all the ways I can. Hope we can buy you all a beer here. And I think that farming is the noblest of professions. Forget Amazon, go be a farmer. And I think you're the most important people in the room because you grow our food. Thank you. I have to get down to the people I work with and have worked with. I know there are people here who've worked with the NFMA in the past as employees. I know there are a group of present folks here who are working with us right now, this minute. And I think they're probably the best farmers market team, certainly in Washington State, I think on the West Coast, and maybe in the whole country. They're all talented, they're all creative, they're all smart, they're very passionate about our mission, and they are worker bees to the core. So I want to thank everyone I work with. I'm impressed every day by what you bring to the organization. And a special thanks to Nina Gruber over here, who actually organized this event tonight. So some special thank yous. I have to do some shout outs. I want to thank Julian O'Reilly, right there. She's been right alongside me for the last 8 years. She's brought incredible success to the organization and professionalism that none of us could have dreamed of when she started. We needed that. I'm going to miss her very much. She's going on to another career, but don't ever be a stranger, and let me keep in touch and hear about Rocky and your life. That would be very important to me. Very, very excited to introduce you to Jennifer Antos. She's the new executive director. She's been with the organization a few short months. She's unfailingly gracious and passionate about our mission, which is absolutely important. She's very mindful of all the different players and all our different roles. Not the easiest thing, as you can imagine. And she's been so generous and warm through this entire transition. I can assure you that the neighborhood farmers markets are in very, very good hands. Thanks. I'm going to do a personal shout out to Laura Avery. Raise your hand, Laura. Laura's director of the farmers markets in Santa Monica, California. If you've never been, it's actually one of the best farmers markets in the country, maybe the world, who knows. She made a special trip up here to celebrate with me. Actually, it was the Santa Monica Farmers Market that was the inspiration for my original idea of what a farmer's market could look like. And the fact that California farmers markets prioritize farmers sort of stuck, and they do. And I'm so pleased that you're here. Very generous thing to do. And she's a totally fun person to hang out with. And when you see her and introduce yourself and thank her for the work she's done, my gosh, you're going to be retiring at the end of this year too. Yeah, after maybe 36 years. And I have to do a very, very special shout out to Tamara Murphy. Tamara is the doyenne, I worked on that word, of the Seattle restaurant community. She's played a huge role in this organization's success. We wouldn't have the incredible feast without her. That was her inspiration. She has provided support, connections, chefs, and incredible food wherever and whenever we've asked her for it. We are a better organization because of Tamara. Thank you so much. To acknowledge the people who are near and dear to me, Tim and Natalie. They've been around as long as I've been doing this, and for those of you who are around in the first years of the farmers markets, you'll remember they were there every Saturday, and Natalie was a little girl. She grew up at that market, and Tim was out there putting up canopies and putting up tables and talking to farmers. I mean, we wouldn't have the farmers market movement in Seattle without those two family members. And they may not know it, that they're important to the farmers market movement, and they may not know how important they are to me. So thank you. So a little bit of perspective. I'm going to finish this up. I know this has been long. I'm really grateful for the work that I've been able to do on behalf of farmers and local food in the neighborhoods. No one could have imagined, no one could have imagined when we started that little farmers market in the U District with 17 farmers, opening day, like 700 shoppers, whatever, that it would grow to be what it is now. Oh my God, there's 17 farmers markets in Seattle. Represent $17 million in sales to farmers, 1 million shoppers a year. This is big stuff, but no one could have imagined it early on. I feel really lucky to be part of a world that inspires me every day, even though sometimes it's hard to find that inspiration. It's there. And but I want all of you to know I'm not retiring to Fiji or Hawaii with Wade or wherever we're going here. I'm interested in continuing to work on farmers market issues and local food policy issues, and anybody who wants to work with me, let's go, let's continue this job. And a couple of last thoughts. I'm sorry you're here and there's some folks from government here. Our city's farmers markets are precious community amenities. I think they're as important as parks, libraries, and schools. Wonderful things happen at a farmer's market. You meet your neighbors, you meet your farmers, the people who actually grow your food. You kind of bridge that wedge between urban and rural, which is huge in our country now. You slow down a little, and I think you feel grateful. And we don't have a lot of opportunities to do that in our lives. Farmers markets are fragile and vulnerable, and they do need our support so they can be around another 25, 50, or 100 years. So, things to think about. As we go forward. We need help securing their locations for the long term. They're vulnerable in that way, and we do need permanent locations for farmers markets. We need to stabilize operations so that farmers markets remain sustainable all across King County and the state. We need to nurture the next generation of farmers. That's no joke. We need to see a whole new generation of farmers coming over the hill. And we need to increase the public demand for local food from local farms. Not hard, but it's good work that can continue on for the future. I want to thank you all for letting and helping me have the time of my life. Thank you.